Hello my dear friends, so today we are going to solve subset sum problem. Okay, so first of all, what is given in the subset sum problem? An array will be given which will contain the elements 2, 3, 7, 8, 10. Suppose this array is given, and in the question that is asked that is there is a subset possible which will give us the sum as 11. Okay, so if you are going to see, if you are going to take the elements 3 and 8, so 8 plus 3 will be 11. So yes, we have one subset which will give us sum as 11. So what we are going to do, we are going to return 1 or true. Okay, we just have to check whether that subset is available or not. Suppose if in the question it is given that you need to check if sum is 14 or not. So if you are going to see, can we get the sum as 14? So if you are going to add 7 plus 3, it will be 10. 10 plus 2 will be 12. So we are not going to get this. Let's say, let's take this 8. 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 3, 13. So even here also we are not going to get sum as 14. So in this case, what will be the output? Output will be 0 or false. So I hope you got the question. In question, an array is given and we need to check whether there is a subset possible which will give us the required sum. Okay, so whenever you see such type of question, okay, where you get the feeling that if an array is given which contain the element 2, 3, 7, 8, 10, and you have to take the decision on each element, whether you have to take the 2 or not, whether you have to take 3 or not, whether you have to take 10 or not. At that time, whenever you have to take decision on each element, you may think of the dynamic programming, that is DP. Okay, and in DP, you if you get the questions like minimum, maximum or required sum, then also you can go for the DP. Okay, so first of all, if you want to go find the solution, so first of all I am going to use the recursion approach. Okay, so in recursion approach, first of all, what we required two things. Okay, for recursion approach we required two things. One, what is that thing? Base condition, and other choice diagram. Okay, diagram, right? So I will tell you how we are going to find the base condition as well as the choice diagram. So first of all, a array is given to us. Okay, what is the array? I am taking the same array 2, 3, 7, 8, 10, right? So first of all, if we take the element, if we want, suppose sum, what is the sum required? Initially we have taken sum as 11. Okay, let us take last digit as 12. Okay, suppose if we want the sum as 11 and this is the array given, so first tell me, are you going to choose the 12? No, you are not going to choose 12. Why you are not going to choose the 12? Because you told that you want the sum of elements as 11, but here it is 12, so you are not going to choose this. Okay, so simply suppose, let us say these element are W. Okay, suppose, so for W what we have two conditions. If W is greater than the sum, okay, this is the sum, so we are sure that we are not going to take that element. Okay, and if W is less than sum, okay, suppose 2, so 2 is less than 11, so yes, now we can go for checking. Yes, we can take that element, we can leave that element, that depends upon our requirement. Okay, if we are getting, if by using 2 we are getting the sum as 11, then we can use the element 2, and if using 2 we are not getting the sum 11, so we can leave that sum. So this is the choice diagram. Okay, I will mark like this. Okay, so for W, if it is less than sum, then we have two choices, whether take it or leave it, and if it is greater than sum, we have only one choice, leave it. So this is the choice diagram. Okay, now I told you we want two things, choice diagram and base condition. If we know these two things, it means we can write the solution recursively. So choice diagram is very easy. We have got the condition for element, if it is greater than the sum, then we are not going to choose the element. If the element is less than the sum, then we have two conditions, whether to take it or not, that we will decide later. Okay, so this is the choice diagram. Now we have to find the base condition. Okay, so how to find base condition? An array is given. What are the elements in the array? Elements in the array are 2, 3, 7, 8 and 10. And what is the sum given? Here it is 12. Okay, I have changed the last. Sum is 11. Okay, now what is the how to find base condition? Okay, so for finding the base condition, what you have to do? You have to think of the smallest valid input. Okay, what you have to do? You have to think of the smallest valid input. Now tell me one thing. If this array will contain no elements, okay, if the size of the array is 0, okay, then can you get the sum 11? If there are no elements in the array, then can you get the sum 11? No. It means if, let's say, capital N is the size of the array. What are the size of the array? Here the size of the array is 5. So if capital N equal to 0, then what we are going to do? We are going to get no element. It means we are not going to get sum as 11. So we are going to return at 0. Okay. It means we required at least one value in the array to check whether we are going to get the required sum or not. So if n is equal to 0, return 0. Suppose if sum is 0, okay, in the question it is given that the array is given, but we want sum as 0. Is it possible? Okay, just think, is if sum is 0, okay, and the array is given to us 2, 3, 7, 8, 12. So is it possible? Yes, is it possible? We will take an empty array. Okay, we want subset, so we will take an empty array. The sum of empty array will be 0. It means if sum is 0, yes, we can get an output. Okay, what is the output? Output is a null set. And if the output is possible, it means it is true, or we can return 1. Okay, so I have written 1. So this is the base condition. Okay, my dear friends, for recursive solution, we want two things. What are the two things? Base condition and choice diagram. So this is the choice diagram and this is the base condition. We have got the two things. Now let us write the code. Okay, so first of all, let us write the code. First of all, I am writing the code in the Python. You can write the code in any language. I am just telling the syntax. I will just tell the logic. You can write the code accordingly in any language. So first of all, we have to write the data type. So in Python, we just have to define def, or in other languages, you have to write bool if you are returning 0 or 1. If you are going to return integer, you have to write integer. Then you have to write function name. So I am writing is subset sum. If subset sum. And what it will contain? It will contain the size of array. It will contain array, and we want sum. We want three things in this. And if you want to write a function, recursive function, so first of all you need to write base condition. Okay, so what was the base condition? If capital N equal to 0, then return. If no elements in the array, then sum is possible. No, sum is not possible, so return 0. If sum is equal to 0, if sum is 0, then what you have to return? You have to return. If sum is 0, can you get the elements? Yes, we can take the empty set, so you can return 1. Okay, this is the base condition. Now what you have to do? You have to write choice diagram. CHOICE, choice diagram. Okay, so first of all, what we have to check? We have to check if the element, first of all, the array was given to us. Okay, what was the array? Here I am going to write again the array. Okay, it contained the element, I think 2, 3, 7, 8, 12. Okay, let me write it properly. 2, 3, 7, 8, 12. This is the given. Okay, now what you have to check? You have to check whether we are getting, first of all, we are going to take the decision on the last element. So 12. So what is the last element? Last element will be, if the size of array is n, last element will be array of n minus 1. So first of all, we have to check the last element. If the last element is greater than the sum, so what we are going to do? We are not going to choose this element. We are ignoring this element and we are going to return the array but now the size of array will be decreased because we have left this 12. So what will be the size of array? Earlier it was n, we have reduced this size by 1. Now the size of array will become n minus 1. It means we have to call the function again is subset sum, but this time instead of passing the n is the size of array, but size of array is decreased now, so it is n minus 1, and rest everything will be same, array and sum. Okay, we have to pass complete array, but this time we are going to consider the size of array as only n minus 1, and sum is also same as it is. It means if 12 is greater than required sum, that is 11, so we are not going to choose the element. So this case is done. Okay, this part is done. Now we have to deal with this part. So if is done, now else. So else, what you have to return? I shown you in the choice diagram, we have two choices, either take it or leave it. Okay, so we have to write the code for both. Return is subset sum. First of all, let us write the code of leave it. Suppose if you want to leave the last element, suppose last element is again 4. Okay, so if you want to leave this element as 4, means you don't want to take this as, don't want this element 4. So what you have to do? Just decrease the size of the array, rest everything will be same. Or in Python we used to write or, you can use this symbol as well. Or you have two choices, either you can take this element or leave this element. So we have written the code for leaving the element. Now we have to write if you want to choose this element. Suppose if you choose the element, what you have done? You have taken the element 4. Okay, so you want the sum as 11, and out of 11 you have taken one element as 4. Now how much is left? 11 minus 4, means in the array you will search for element as 7. Means you are going to search if you are going to get sum as 7. It means the sum is decreased now. If you choose an element, the total sum will be decreased because one element is already chosen. Okay, what I am saying is, if 4 is already there in the subset, total you want 11, but if 4 you have already chosen, so will you look for the 11 now? No, you will look for the difference between these two, that is 11 minus 4. So you are going to look for the 7. So you are going to go in this array and see whether you are going to get 7 directly or the sum of 2, 3, 4 elements as 7 or not. Okay, so number of elements will be decreased this time also. Okay, we have taken decision in 4, now we have to take decision in this. Array will be same, but what I told you, sum will be decreased. So sum minus array of n minus 1. Okay, so this is the code, only this much. Okay, this much is the code. So what we have done? First of all, we have written the base condition. What was the base condition? If n is 0, return 0. If sum is 0, return 1. Okay, then according to the choice diagram, if it is greater than 1, then just leave the element. Okay, just leave the element means sum will be same as it is. But if you are if the value is smaller, then you have to choose whether you are going to take it or leave it. So if you are going to take it, so you have to subtract it like sum minus array of n minus 1. And if you are going to leave it, so sum will be as it is. This is the recursive approach. Okay, like this you will get the solution at the end. Okay, but interviewer may ask that don't go by recursive solution, go by some other approach. So if you can write the solution by recursion, you can convert this solution in the dynamic programming, that is top down approach. Okay, so in dynamic programming, we know that first of all we need to require the matrix. Okay, and what will be the size of the matrix? Size of the matrix will be n plus 1, sum plus 1. What is n and sum? So n is nothing but the value that is changing. Okay, as I told you, the size of array is decreasing. Once you take the decision on an element, then you come on this side, then this side. So size is decreasing. That's why n plus 1. And sum also changes. Earlier the sum was 11, but when you choose the last element as 4, so sum is going to be 7. So this will contain, if you are going to get confused what you have to choose, so it will have the values which are changing. Okay, so n is changing and sum is changing. So what will be the dp? Dp will be n plus 1 and sum plus 1. So first of all you need to declare the dp. Okay, now there we have written the base condition. Here also what you have to do, you have to write the base condition. Okay, so first of all let me write the array. So what is the array given to us? Array given to us was 2, 3, 7, 8 and 12. So size of the array will be 5. I told you to make a dp of n plus 1, that is 5 plus 1. And what is the sum required? Sum I told you 11. So 11 plus 1. So we want a dp of dp is nothing but a matrix of size 6 and 12. So let us make a dp. Okay, I am just rough sketching 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, like this. Okay, here it will be 0 1 2 3 4 5 sorry, we want 0 1 2 3 4 5. Here 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Okay, yeah, like this we have to make. This is the dp. We don't have to make, I am just explaining you. Okay, so first of all, if you are writing the dp solution, what you have to do, you have to fill the values of first row and first column. So basically you have to fill these entries. Okay, this one, these entries you have to fill by your own, these entries you have to fill by your own. If you can fill these two entries, then you can dp will automatically give you the final solution in the last column. Okay, so what dp tells, I will explain you a little bit. Here we are writing sum. Okay, and here we are writing number of elements. Okay, number of elements, and here we are writing sum. Okay, so this column tells us that if you are going to take, just a second, this column tells us if you are going to take sum as 0 and number of elements as 0, so is it possible? Just think of the solution. You want sum as 0 and there are no elements in the 0. Yes, if you take the null set, the sum will be 0. So it is possible. So you can write 1 here. Now here it is given that we want sum as 1. We want sum as 1, but 0 means there are no element in the array. It means array is given as empty, but they are saying we want sum as 1. So if there are no elements in the array, can you get the sum as 1? No, you can't get the sum as 1. It means here you have to write 0. Okay, let us fill here. Array is given, it is blank array. 0 means no elements in the array, but they are saying that we want sum 2 this time. Is it possible? No, it's not possible. It means here all the values will be 0. Now let us, I told you we have to fill first row and first column. Now let us fill the first column. So what first column tells? First column tells that I want sum as 0, because here sum is 0, but array will contain one element. What was the first element for us? First element was 2. So here it is saying that we have one element of the array, that is 2. Can you get the sum 0? Yes. If you are going to choose null subset, the sum is possible 0. It means 1 will come here. This, what is this 2 tells? It 2 tells that we have two elements in the array, that is 2, 3. Let me check. Yes, 2, 3. Can you get the sum 0? Yes, you can get the sum 0 if you are going to choose a subset which contain no elements. It means yes, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So in DP, first of all, what is the first step? First step is to define the DP. Okay, sorry, I use the eraser. First step to define the DP, which will be DP of n plus 1 and sum plus 1. What will be the next step? You have to fill these elements by your own. So I am going to use the for loop for I in range of range, and here we have to write, first of all, what we write? Column rows for j in range of columns. Okay, oh, you can use the C syntax also, like this. For I is equal to 0, I is less than size of rows, I plus plus, then you can go for the j. Okay, this is the syntax of Python. This is the syntax of C++ and the language. For j is equal to 0, j is less than size of columns, j plus plus. Okay, you can write like this. I am just explaining you the Python syntax. Syntax is same, logic will be same, syntax can be changed. So first of all, what this tells us I, that is row. If row is first of all, let us fill the row. If there are elements in the first row, you have to put it as 0. So if I is equal to 0, so dp of I comma 0, okay, it will be 0. So all the entries will be filled by 0. These will be filled by 0. Now again I am going to apply the condition. If j is equal to 0, so j equal to 0 means we are talking about this one. If we are going to in this column, then what you have to fill? dp of 0 for the first comma j, it will be of 1. So first of all, we filled all the elements with the 0. So here we will get 0 first, then here we will get 1. Okay, so this is done. Now I told you this is the base condition that we have written. If you think properly, this is the base condition of the recursion. I told you if the sum is 0, what we have written in the base condition? We have written if sum is 0, return 1. Okay, so sum is 0 here, so return 1. This was the base condition. Okay, if the number of elements are 0, return 0. If the number of elements are 0, as you can see, we are going to return 0. So it is nothing but the base condition only. But if you directly approach DP, you have to solve like this. But if you are going by recursion approach, you can go like this. Now what you have to do? Now you have to fill the rest of the elements of the matrix. Okay, so again for I is equal to 1, we have already filled the first entry of the matrix. I is less than rows, I plus plus. Okay, for I am writing this for the other language. For j is equal to 0, j is less than columns, j plus plus. Okay, now what we have done, we have taken the decision. What was the decision? We were taking the decision that array of n minus 1, if this element is greater than the sum, then we are not going to choose the element. We will directly shift to the previous element. So what we were doing, we were like n minus 1 array and sum, this we were returning. But here we are not going the using that approach. So what you are going to do, you just have to change n with the I and sum with the j. Okay, rest everything will be same. If that element is greater than the sum, so what you have to do, you have to ignore the element. It means the element dp I comma j will be, we will just go to one step backward and nothing else. J will be the sum will be as it is. Okay, if the given number of the element in the array is greater than the required sum, so it will be nothing, just one step backward. Else what you have to do, I told you, either you can choose the element or you can leave the element. So suppose if you leave the element, it will be I minus 1 comma j, this is I and this is 1, this is j. Or if you select the element, then also you have to move one step backward, but this time the sum will be decreased. It means array of I minus 1 means we have to subtract that sum. Okay, like this we are going to fill all the entries of the DP, and at the end what you have to return? You have to return last element of the DP, that is n comma sum. Okay, so basically where we are getting our solution? Here. So what is the solution here? It tells that we want sum as 11 and we can choose all the elements of the array. It means we can choose all the elements of the array, means we can 2, 3, 7, 8, 12, and we want sum as 11. So here we will get the solution. So basically what we have done, I will just summarize you. First of all, what we have done, here we have initialized the DP. I told you to initialize the DP, what you have to do? You have to initialize first row and first column. So initialization is done here. This is nothing but the base condition. And then we have used the same condition that was there in the recursion, that if the element size is greater than the sum, then we are going to leave the element. Or what we are going to do, we are going to take the decision, either take it or leave it. At the end we are going to return the last element of the DP. I hope you got this method. If I done any mistake, you can tell me in the comment section. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you.